Greetings and salutations, viewer. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and today, I say that's always been the intro, but we're talking about a bunch of stuff. There is a focus. And that focus was revealed on the title card.
But other stuff maybe have been happening.
Other stuff may have been happening. And what do we call it when other stuff is happening?
Well, if it's stuff that's happening in our life, it's about what's crumping.
It is about what's crumping. What's been crumping with you? Because there's been a lot crumping with me.
I finished I think I'm on book 4 of Dungeon Crawler Carl at this point.
I saw a picture of Mr. Carl autographing someone's foot today, so...
Yeah, that's feet are a big thing in the books. You haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm not going to explain that further.
Accepted. Anything else?
I've been... Shows feel like they're piling up on me, man.
Dude, yeah, because I keep forgetting Spider-Man Noir is a thing.
Yeah, the full series is out on Amazon Prime. I've been meaning to watch it. Yeah, book 4. I had to go check. And I just, and then there's like other shows that I've been meaning to watch. They're piling up. I feel like I'm getting behind.
It's almost like we've been watching something that's kind of long.
Yeah, and takes up a bunch of time.
Yeah.
For me, that's Critical Role.
I'm free. I'm free.
I'm still on the horse. I am not fully up to date as of recording, but honestly, by the time this podcast goes out, I probably will be. I'm really enjoying myself. It is a very specific vibe of D&D that I like. Don't play that often because I'm really the only one in my game group who does.
Who likes it when things are sad and miserable and one guy doesn't do anything ever but is the most important character?
No, that last bit, that's not really a thing in Critical Role, but sad and miserable, yeah, kind of. You guys react badly when I DM that.
Yeah, it's almost like, given ultimate power and freedom and lower consequences, we would try to do something about.
Yeah, try to make the world a little better.
Yeah. And actually, your last campaign, the last one before that, both, were pretty miserable.
But you guys made the world better.
Right, but we still, you said when you finished it, all right, let's do something lighter because yeesh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything else that you've crumped, my guy?
Nothing except the thing we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
What about you? What you been crumping?
Well, I finished watching, I started a year ago, season 9 of Supernatural.
Wow, you guys finally made it through season 9.
Yeah, we just turned on an episode last night to kind of sit with while we ate, and it rolled into the next one, and I'm like, well, there's one left. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way.
Dunk this ball. That's 9 of 90, so you're almost a 10th of the way through the series.
15. We're over half. It's 6 seasons left. It falls off pretty hard. I was talking with my girlfriend, whom I'm watching this with, about it, and I don't know if I know a show that falls off so hard halfway through, but just keeps going.
But really, halfway? Season 7.5?
Yeah, actually, kind of.
Wow.
I don't like... Actually, season 7's probably the worst one so far.
So a little before, I think, generally accepted, I have not watched this series, I've seen clips and YouTube shorts, but generally accepted is it falls off pretty hard after season 5.
Season 5 is the natural end of the show. It's where it was supposed to end, but then they just were so popular they kept going.
I mean, look, that's a whole bunch of money. Why would you say no?
Sure.
I get it.
And that noise, by the way, is our chairs. Our mic is tuned...
Has anyone ever commented on it?
No, but I can hear it when I'm editing.
And it drives you nuts, so you have to mention.
Also, every now and then, we will set a drink down on this desk, and the mic is like, you wanted me to go boof. Sorry, or you're welcome if you're into that. But I was just solving a mystery more than if you're bothered by that. I apologize. What are we doing? Are our bones made of metal? Are you really a robot?
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Unless you sign up for the Patreon, but we're not to the plug yet.
The information's not on Patreon.
Yes, it is. The classic episodes of Two
that's
Nerds
true.
are available
Yeah,
on Patreon, where you can see my fleshy face.
And a fatter me. Anyway, season 6 was pretty good. I liked the overplot. I liked a lot of the individual episodes. It wasn't as good as the last 5 seasons, but it was still good. Season 7 had a lot of great episodes, but the overplot was so fucking stupid. And then season 8 was like a recovery. I pretty much enjoyed myself through that one. Season 9 was not great, but it wasn't like that bad. It was just regular bad.
As I understand it, the tail end of season 9 and season 10 is a very popular meme on the internet. What it can be described by a very popular meme about anime, which is, y'all got any good writing? We got hype moments and aura, but do you have any good writing? And then the character looks sad.
Oh no, I hate hype moments in aura without good writing.
Yeah, best of luck, Chief.
Cough, golden wind, cough. But yeah, we're gonna go through it. It's my girlfriend's favorite show, and even she's like, look, it's not. Strap in.
This is an emotional support show. This is not. Yeah. This is a comfort program.
We're also entering the parts where she hasn't watched it as many times.
Right, because you know, if it's bad, you don't watch it as many times.
Well, and also just, her life changed around that time, and there was less sitting around rewatching old episodes of Supernatural. I can relate to that. But I did that. I read a book. We needed a new muffler. So I went to the muffler shop, and they remuffled our muffler. And I've been trying to read a book a month for the last 2 years. It wasn't super successful last year, or maybe I just squeaked in under the wire. This year, I'm actually ahead of things, technically, but I'm not counting a bunch of comics I read to write an email to a podcast I like. It was a Murder, She Wrote novel called A Prescription for Murder. I finished that just like 40 minutes ago. I also started and defeated the modern console game Care Bears to the Rescue.
This is the kind of thing he should only be doing if he's a YouTuber who gets paid to play these sorts of games. And he's not. He's a YouTuber who gets paid to play fighting games.
No, actually, the people who give me money are exactly not the Violent Profiles crowd. As much as Violent Profiles brings in the numbers, the podcast brings in the money.
Hey, baby.
And the gameplay.
You gotta go where the money is.
Yeah. So I really like the modern Care Bear redesigns. I think they're really fresh. I think they do good things with the negatively phrased bean people art style.
Oh, no. Really? That's unfortunate.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just they have those mouths, and they definitely have a distinct Care Bear shape. It's not as bad as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm old. But I can't watch the show because it's too much for kids.
Right.
And I wanted to get some Care Bears merch. Like, get a bear, I like stuffed animals. And I couldn't, because I couldn't pin down what my favorite bear would be, because I can't watch the show. So this game came out. It's a platformer, and I'm like, I like platformers. And it wasn't that expensive in the first place. And I said, if I wait for a sale, we'll get a sale, and I'll buy it, and it won't be that expensive. And I did. And I finally sat down to play it. And it is not well made.
I got a delightful series of rants about how the game was actively falling apart as you were playing it.
Yeah. I'm not going to... I mean, it's very entertaining, actually, but I'm not going to waste time, because we do have a lot to talk about today, explaining everything to you. I will say, I could not control my bear with the D-pad, only the control stick. What did the D-pad do, you might ask? Nothing. There was a point at which one of the lines of dialogue came out of order. A bear shouted the power of love apropos of nothing in the middle of an unrelated conversation, and then, like, a manifestation of the power of love appeared, and nobody explained what it was.
Good.
And my personal favorite, there's a later level that has ice physics, a world, I should say. And there's a point where the little bears, they've got these pointless fucking sections where you have to shoot your tummy laser at an insignia that matches your bear's insignia. And if you're playing a different bear, because you can't switch on the fly, that bear will just be hanging out in the level, and when you push your tummy laser button near them, their tummy laser will fire at the insignia instead. Really, absolutely pointless mechanic. It's not exciting, it's not difficult, except for this one place, where you have to precisely jump to that bear on ice physics, else you'll slide into the drink. I failed so many times, I'm like, alright, look, if I can just get this platform to manifest, it won't be a big deal, because these controls are really floaty, and I'm having to use the stick, and it's so imprecise. So if I get close enough to the bear, touch ground long enough to be able to fire my tummy laser, because you can't shoot it while you're in the air, and just hold the B button as I slide off, because the shoot button is on B, this is on an Xbox controller, the grab a hold of vine/rope button is what's on X, which is where you'd expect the shoot button to be.
No, incorrect. The shoot button should be on one of the triggers.
Well, not in a platformer. Like Mega Man.
I said what I said.
Or,
if the controller has triggers, use them for the thing the triggers are for.
I see where you're coming from, but that's Dark Souls talking. That was nonsense before Dark Souls. Unless you were playing a gun game, like a first-person shooter. But, like, if you're playing, like, Castlevania and you're trying to throw something, or you're playing Contra, it's a face button. It makes sense. Anyway, regardless. It works. Too well, actually. The bear would not stop shooting its laser. And then I, chagrined by this, got up to get a beverage and came back and unpaused my game. And the laser itself had disappeared, but the bear was still in the shooting posture, and the laser noise kept going until I finished the level.
Perfect. You love it.
Yeah. So there's some insight into Care Bears to the Rescue. Spoiler alert for Care Bears to the Rescue. The last level, the final boss fight in this game, are 3 incredibly simple pipe dream puzzles. I like pipe dreams, so I wasn't that offended, but there you have it. I think the only other thing I did this week was finish up the Dark Tournament arc of YuYu Hakusho.
Oh boy, now it's time to get to the real fucking shit.
Damn, podcast starts at. Get your timestamps ready.
Oh man, I have been excited for this moment since I found out he was actually finally watching the show. We've covered the first bit of the show up through, I believe, the appearance and first quote-unquote defeat of the Toguro brothers on a previous podcast. This is the second part of what is basically all the Yu Yu Hakusho I ever saw as a kid. I saw through the end of the Dark Tournament, like 2 episodes of the next arc, and then, to my recollection, they just restarted the run, and then I lost access to Cartoon Network before we ever got back. So, he's now basically caught up with what I've seen of one of my favorite anime.
And I'm not sleep deprived this time. So I said this in the comments of the last Yu Yu Hakusho episode. No, they don't call them seasons on Crunchyroll. It's like it aired in Japan. It's just all one continuous thing. The only reason they're at all categorized as seasons, which is convenient for me because I have to, watch them, and that needs to be contained in a certain amount of space, is because of the DVD releases. They were kind of grouped together in that way there. So Gomen Asai, if I may be culturally appropriate, I was talking out of my sleep-deprived ass.
I didn't correct you too hard, but I did think you were wrong.
I was wrong. I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. Sometimes I'll admit when I'm wrong when I'm right.
You will. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. This show is great.
Yes, correct. That's the correct opinion.
Did you want to try to do this blow by blow, or are we just going to vibe it out?
I think vibing out. We got other stuff to This is the new format. We don't got to do a blow by blow unless we feel it necessary.
Right. A lot happens in this arc, and a lot of what happens in this arc is we're introduced to a usually cool person who the main cast then fights.
This whole arc does a great job of introducing really interesting one-off villains, essentially. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a masterclass in this guy's really cool and has interesting, maybe has an interesting backstory, maybe has an interesting power, maybe he just has an interesting look. But he's got something to hook you in to make you care about the fight. And then they fight and it's fucking peak.
Usually it's 2 of those things at least.
Yeah.
This is so well done. And it's... So when I watched the first season, I don't remember the first set of arcs, I don't remember if I said that last time. I was really enamored by the first 10 or so episodes, and then it kind of fell off a little
It
bit.
went from being like one of the best anime you've ever seen to just a good anime.
Yes, an incredibly good one at that, but it wasn't as addictive, as miraculous as I thought it was. But it's still so solid. This is a one tournament arc, this 40 episodes or whatever it is.
It's a lot of episodes,
It's a
to
lot.
be fair. I think it's like 20 something.
Oh, no. It's so much more than that. I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia entry here as I have it open. We go from episode 26 to episode 66. So I was right, it's 40.
66?
Yeah.
Wow, that's more than I remember
Yeah.
it being. Holy
Yep.
shit.
And it's all killer, no filler.
Yeah, there's no whole episodes of just shouting.
No.
It is all cool shit. There's a couple cooldown episodes in at various stages where they're not necessarily fighting that episode. Maybe they're watching Toguro fight. Maybe they're doing something else. They're prepping for the next round. But it's only a couple cooldown episodes, and that's really actually for the pacing. It's not just to pad them out.
Well, and usually each individual episode cuts away and goes to one of the B plots.
Because they recognize that if it's just as much as I am a shonen child at heart, as much as I am nearly 40, still a lover of fucking shonen jump style, anime, it's not great for pacing if it's just fights. So other shit has to be happening.
And it does it very compellingly, and they twist things. And this is early enough that it is a codifier for what I've seen in a lot of other anime. I can see it going forward. I can even see certain visuals. I
believe you said we need a new trope for this. Seinfeld is hilarious, actually, is how you phrased it?
The original trope, Seinfeld is unfunny, is about people who go back, I don't know if it's named that anymore, and watch Seinfeld because it's so well regarded, and they think it's meh or lame or overdone because they've seen all the stuff that was inspired by Seinfeld. So it's not impressive to them what they're doing. But going back and watching this and seeing how much of it, informed future anime and adjacent products, it's great. It's still really good. Like, it's usually better than its derivatives. I can't remember the guy's name. The dude who is in charge of Toguro's team, his benefactor.
One of the coolest shady dudes in anime history.
He reminds me so much of Sang from Final Fantasy VII, visually.
He's Seto Kaiba, he's so many anime guys who come after him.
Yeah, and that's just one example. We were just rewatching the Knife Edge Deathmatch, and both of us basically simultaneously made this observation, and you went and looked up details, which we couldn't find the manga panels, but we did want to talk about it, at least in the anime. Sakyo, thank you. The pose they're in before they actually start fighting.
When they set up the knives and they set up to do the knife edge deathmatch, they're in a very specific pose where they're like squared off like boxers. But because of the shape of the deathmatch, they have to lean back, and it's almost exactly the pose that Dio and Jotaro strike in their famous "Oh, you're approaching me" scene in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I went and looked up the exact manga where those two scenes happen.
The Knife Edge Sudden Death was February 16th, 1992, and Dio's World Part 10 was February 24th, 1992.
So just at the same time, two amazing moments, two iconic moments, at least in my opinion, of anime history, happened. Like, imagine being a Japanese kid, reading JoJo's and Yu Yu Hakusho at this time. What must that have been like to have been growing up encased in such peak fiction?
Yeah, it's nuts. I like Yu Yu Hakusho a lot better than JoJo's.
Look, I do too. That particular part of JoJo's is the coolest part of the whole series.
I like how the ladies still get a lot of development.
Yeah, they're not just like cheerleaders.
No.
They have their own shit going on. They have their own subplots sometimes.
And often they're doing that thing that JoJo's does more nakedly, which is, I'm going to tell you about the cool shit that guy's doing in the fight because he's too busy fighting. But it's couched in other stuff. There's other stuff going on. It's somebody saying, explain this to me. I don't understand what the rules of this fight are. And, just people reacting naturally, going, "Oh my god, he's doing this thing that's so awesome."
There is a lot of explaining what's happening while something cool is happening to the audience, but they do an excellent job of wrapping it, and making it diegetic and making it make sense for someone to be saying this out loud. Which, notably, as you pointed out, JoJo's does very badly.
Oh yeah, but that's like part of the joke, right?
Yeah.
And it's so striking to me that this show manages to put all that together and do it so well when everything that's come after has not done it. In reflection on watching this show, I look at the rest of anime since and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? You just had to do this.
Just do this again.
It's right there.
Just copy this. You were already copy it harder.
Do it better. What? Copy the good parts, idiot. My favorite characters are still Kuwabara and Botan, but Ogre is slowly climbing. He's definitely my top 5. I love him. I love that he has his own little journey where he becomes a commentator briefly. I like the commentator Fox Girl and the fish referee whose name is Jury, which I think is funny. I don't know if they meant that as a pun or not.
One of the best things about Ogre, being a little commentator, is that's the same guy who does the actual voiceover commentator guy.
Oh, that is funny.
That's the same voice. He's just doing the same voice.
That's good. I also love that this was all very wrestling coded.
The whole Dark Tournament is.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of telling because Yusuke mentions it in the first, let's call it a season.
You are still an American. It's fine.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come with you. No one's gonna come for you with pitchforks.
The first bit. Look, if they do, guys, come on, just comment about it.
Yeah, comment about it. Downvote the video. Whatever, man. Come on, bring it.
Tell your mom that I was so wrong. Show her the video.
Look, I know you're gonna have to walk up the stairs from the basement to do it, but yeah, do that.
Hey. Not all of our viewers can afford a basement.
The ones who are mad about this can't either. That's why they're living with their mom.
Oh, I see. I'm not one to talk. Our basement sucks.
Look, I've lived in a basement before. It happens.
I lived in a basement for a long time. I liked it. But moving swiftly along, then I stop immediately because I've lost my place talking about basements for too long. What was I saying?
You were just talking about how peak the show is. Continue.
I had reached a specific point. The wrestling stuff. Yeah. They mention that when he's going to train under Genkai in the first place, that he wants to get tickets to whatever.
Basically, serial numbers filed off Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, and in that way, it's sort of, and then watching how this plays out, so much like wrestling. You know, the guy who created this has to have been, at least in some part, a wrestling fan, because a lot of these fights are paced, are, portrayed, are reacted to like pro wrestling. And a lot of these gimmicks, I would love to see in a wrestling match. The die rolling thing was really exciting, where they had to roll the dice to see who was paired off against who.
Yeah.
AEW does stuff close to this.
AEW uses dice as like a aesthetic, but do this like gimmick it. I don't care. But like,
excuse me.
The writer of the show certainly did. It's not like he actually rolled dice.
Sure, the knife edge death match, for that matter. You can't obviously do knives, but what if you got one of those little WrestleMania like conveyance rings from back in the day and gave it barbed wire ropes? And they had to fight in there.
Well, all right. So the reason that doesn't work as I look, all right. So we rewatched the knife edge death match because I have been very vocal. That's my favorite episode of this show. It is the coolest fucking show. It is the coolest episode of one of the coolest shows in anime history. Knife edge death match is. I lack the words to explain how informative it was on my idea of what manly and cool shit is. But so he rewatched it because he felt he had not paid sufficient attention to it.
I was wrong. I paid just fine attention to it.
And I was there also because I happened to be in the room, so I was happy to. I'll rewatch that anytime. It's fine. You notice there's something important that happens in that episode. a lot of that episode isn't actually the knife edge deathmatch.
No, but I think, first of all, as a wrestling match, where something like that could take 5 minutes, if it's the third stage of a 3 Stages of Hell style thing, I think you could get 5 solid minutes out of that.
That's fair. That's about how much you get a little more out of that.
Sure.
But like, you can't do a whole wrestling match. They couldn't do a whole episode of this anime about the knife edge death match because it's just two guys punching each other. And as cool as that fucking is,
yeah, but think about it this way. I think I'm onto something with the 3 Stages of Hell thing. It's 2 dudes. It's, I don't know, probably Jon Moxley because that's who he is, and Kenny Omega. Why not? And
brother, you have to include Ricochet. Has to be one. He is the one with the fucking spirit gun.
All right,
Ricochet gets to be in this match.
All right, it's Ricochet versus Jon Moxley.
Ricochet versus a guy who's much bigger.
I said Jon Moxley. Or Brody King for that matter, and they're in the little. Well, they have best 2 out of 3,
and like. What is it like every time, every round the ring gets smaller?
No, it's just like whatever gimmick that Ricochet wants, whatever gimmick that Brody King wants, and then if they haven't settled it by then, they will have the barbed wire, edge of the wire death match. I don't know, I'm workshopping off the top of my head. And they go into the little WrestleMania ring, and it's just sumo, but on a smaller, sicko-ier scale. And the first guy knocked out of the ring loses.
It's just them fucking leathering each other.
Just Eddie Kingston style, slap you around, and you're on the edge of your seat because you're like, oh my god, who's gonna win here? These guys are really giving it to each other. It doesn't have to go that long. They're already both exhausted. It's just about finishing the fight.
I will accept this under one condition.
I'm listening.
The finish is exactly
the same.
Yes,
absolutely.
The finish must be literally they headbutt each other and then one of them falls.
It's too good.
It's too good. It's too good.
But what I love about this whole arc is that they still stick to that characterization. The characters we meet are interesting. They're not one note. They don't go away. Often we get several episodes dedicated to them, or they show up later to be like, to add more flavor to what's going on.
If they do not die.
Sure. You do have one-note characters, but they feel like jobbers when they show up.
Yeah, like, you can tell kind of by how a guy is talking and portrayed, oh, 1, you're gonna die, and 2, you're a jobber. Versus the guys who are gonna, oh no, you're way too interesting, you're way too cool, you're living. You get to live. I can tell already.
This show did something that I haven't felt in a long time. It was brief. But when it finally came down to Team Urameshi versus Team Toguro, I was like, how are they going to get through this?
They actually got you.
Yeah,
they actually. What are they going to do? Yeah. That's such a hard thing to do.
And even then, my brain went, well, it's an anime. And I'm like, fair enough. They will make their way out of this.
But how?
And I think the way they did it was beautiful. I should not have given a shit about the relationship between Genkai and Toguro. But they did it so well. And they paced it so evenly throughout that part of the arc that it felt organic. I wasn't overburdened with information. I got to get to that emotional endpoint. Honestly, the last episode of this arc is not all that different tonally from the last episode of Golden Wind. And where I feel like the last episode of Golden Wind is kind of lame and like it doesn't fit, the last episode of the Dark Tournament arc really ties off a lot of things and makes it feel complete.
Yeah.
This is just such a good. I miss the original ending song. If I have a complaint, that's the one.
Yeah, they go through a couple ending songs in this arc, and none of them are as good as the original, which is a bop. Talk about how great Toguro is now.
I mean, he's cool. He's a great enemy.
You made an observation that I never had when we were talking about the show as he was watching it. And then you were just right. And you're so right that I want the people to hear it too, because he is right.
Okay.
Toguro, younger Toguro specifically, comes from a different genre of anime than the rest of the cast.
Oh, yeah.
He is like, the peak of the previous generation in the show, because, Yusuke is the young hotness coming up. And yes, I know, he's not there yet. We'll get there. But younger Toguro feels like the bad guy of an anime from the 80s. He's a different genre. He's not, he makes jokes, but he's not sarcastic quippy like a lot of the main characters can be. He's wry. If he's making a joke at all, it's a wry observation. And he is otherwise serious and forthright and just a wall of menace. And that's so hard to do without being flat like a lot of 80s anime villains are. And it's just, he feels like the best of the previous generation, here to stop the new generation.
It feels like, what if Dragon Ball No Z Goku had to go up against Atom Smasher?
Yeah!
And, you know, shit, this guy's real tough. But he feels like a villain from one of those really dark cyberpunk genre anime from the 80s, where, like, the whole city is infested with demons and it's a piece of shit and everything's purple.
And Yusuke is so 90s.
He is.
The contrast between them is perfection. And I've never heard someone phrase it like that before, and it's so correct that I needed you people to know.
The little details also really win me over. I've forgotten a lot of them. I sent them a lot to you when I was texting you, and I was telling my girlfriend about them because, you know, she would occasionally wander into frame while I was watching. I like that they bothered to mention that Botan had to escort Genkai to the spirit world. Because she is Death. She's the Grim Reaper. That's her job.
So she's got to go do that.
But it's been so long since we cared about that, since that was a factor.
One of the things I like about this series is it's not afraid to evolve.
No.
It's not afraid. It's not married to its initial premise. He is a quote-unquote spirit detective solving spirit cases for approximately like a week.
But I like that they still refer to that. I like that they call back to, you know, things characters did or said and how it pays forward. And honestly, there's one of those that I almost didn't get, and I'm really glad we watched the Knife Edge Deathmatch again, because in the ending couple of episodes, you get a point with Chizuru and the shady dude.
Yeah.
And he, like, gives her his lighter, and it's like a touching moment. And I'm watching it going, why? But sometimes Japanese stories do this, where, like, at the last minute, the bad guy is like, no, I have a little bit of humanity. Here's a weird token. And then I was reminded that he saved her from some demon goons earlier in the season. And so going back and watching that again, I was glad to see it.
And they have very similar sort of cool, detached energy.
Oh, she's so awesome.
I
don't know what's in that family's genes, but good lord.
She's so much cooler than Kuwabara in terms of, like, in universe. Oh, man. I'm so glad that Kuwabara is your favorite. I'm so glad you're right. I'm so glad I don't have to fight you on this.
That king pretending to be dead. I loved that the episode before that, where he's, like, pretending to be dead, before they reveal it in the teaser, because I'm watching the teasers because there's a lot of character in those, and
well, yeah, they're doing like in-character speeches about what's going to happen. It's great.
And
I do skip them sometimes because I have seen this show a lot.
Right. Oh god, I remembered his name earlier. The little demon prince.
Koenma?
Koenma's like, all right, we're going to show spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2. How's the gang going to get out of the next one? And there's Kuwabara there hugging them. And I love that they bothered with that. It's just awesome. This is just such a really good show. And I don't know if it's genuinely, I forgot to mention this last time. After the first 10 episodes, I was going to go back and rewatch Outlaw Star to make sure it was still my favorite, because the first 10 episodes of this anime are so fucking good.
They are.
I don't know that that's in danger anymore. I might go back and rewatch it just for the memes, but wow.
At the very least,
solid.
I'm hearing it's a strong number 2.
Oh, it's up there. It is. I'd have to, like, think about it, and I really do want to rewatch in its entirety with a better translation, Sailor Moon. But
a part of my brain wants to rewatch Dragon Ball Z because that part of my brain is currently barracking that as much as I love Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho is better.
Yeah. Hey, we were so excited about Yu Yu Hakusho, we forgot to do the plug. Before we get to our next segment, there's a link tree in the description of this very video. There you will find a link to our Discord, where you can come hang out and chat if you're cool. If you're not cool, we'll ban you. There are my books, which you could buy. I've got a long-running series called COLT REGAN that is an urban fantasy series, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of social, engagement, a little bit of action, a little bit of horror. It's got a lot. Werewolves and shit. There's also the first book in what will eventually be a series called Red Company that is a cozy lit RPG isekai fantasy trilogy, eventually. There's Patreon, of course. $1 gets you gameplay episodes a week early and access to a bunch of exclusive content. Really old podcasts from back when we were on Blip.
That's where you can see my flesh face if you want.
Yeah, his horrible, horrible flesh face.
I don't recommend it. I'm homely.
You can also pay more. You'll get episodes of Violent Profiles a month early. You can get TTRPG content. I've designed 2. One is Giallo Punk in the same world as the COLT REGAN stories. The other is Wizards and Whites.
For those of you who don't want the Pinkertons coming to your fucking house.
I will not send the Pinkertons after you, I promise. If you do something nefarious against me, I may employ law enforcement or like bounty hunters or something, but not the Pinkertons.
Specifically.
Okay? Specifically not them. You can also request topics for us to talk about on the show, as someone did for me to talk about Yu Yu Hakusho. I am on the hook. They have specifically requested if I think it's fucking horrible, they don't want to hear it. But I am on the hook for the rest of Yu Yu Hakusho. As far as we know. So we will be talking about it again in the future. I might give it a little bit of a break, just as a palate cleanser.
Also, it will give me time to catch up on my rewatch. That way I can go into the new content with him.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Now, that's 40 episodes of anime, and I'm me. I don't know that I will. If I don't catch up, by the time he starts the new content, I will just skip to the new content and then catch up on the Dark Tournament in my own time.
Regardless, like, comment, and subscribe. I know everybody says that. It helps boost us in the algorithm. The likes and the comments and the full watch time are really the things we're going for here. And thank you very much for those of you who already do interact. I also just care about your opinion. Like, I create stuff and I love receiving feedback for it, even if your feedback is, I played this game when I was 10. I can't believe it was real. I thought it was a fever dream. Thank you so much for reviewing it. Those are real comments I get, and I treasure each and every one of them. Moving on to something completely different as we enter our Nerd Report segment.
As of recording, literally yesterday, which I believe was the day you finished the Dark Tournament of Yu Yu Hakusho.
I finished it Friday.
So the day after.
Yeah.
Team 4-Star uploaded Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged, which is such an event. Can I explain the lore to you?
Yeah, because I have no idea. I don't watch their stuff.
So before Team 4-Star was a thing, I have this lore in sugar packets in my head, so excuse me if I get some of this wrong. But to my memory, one of the founders of Team 4-Star created a YouTube series, Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged.
Okay.
It had, I believe, 19 episodes, ended somewhere in the assault on the mansion where you first meet the two, somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And then a different series that they were doing took off. Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Okay.
On this other channel, Team 4-Star.
What I know of them is that they do these and what they are, and that I guess maybe they're friends with Linkara.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're incredible. They're like iconic in the anime fandom. They're genuinely, some people think that the abridged versions of the Dragon Ball Z characters are better. They're just literally better interpretations of the characters than in the actual anime.
All right.
And in some cases, they might be right.
So you're excited for this? Is this the thing you're going to watch?
I watched this today.
Oh, okay.
I already watched the first episode of this. It was so unexpected that this would because this hasn't been updated in like 15 years. It started 20 years ago, and this is a new series, much more fitting with their new style. Some of the jokes have probably been updated. I doubt the old ones aged well. But yeah, to be fair, I haven't watched all of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I've only caught a few things. But like I've seen the big memes, as it were.
I might have. I wouldn't know.
I guarantee you've heard a bunch of them as jokes I've made that you didn't get.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's me with Simpsons references.
Eat that horse and Vegeta no, Vegeta yes.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. Is there anything else you wanted to say about that particular story?
I'm just so stunned that this and the timing was so funny.
Yeah, that is wild. Well, our other stories we don't have as much to say about, I don't think. The Witcher 3 is receiving a DLC.
Yeah, The Witcher 3, look, I wouldn't call it an old video game, but it's certainly well past the age that modern video games get DLCs.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I get why it's happening, and those of you who know about how game design works is they're working on stuff for The Witcher 4, so they have new like tech and ideas and stuff that they tooled around within the old set. The old
And you might as well get money out of those.
Yeah, basically. It's the same reason Animal Crossing got an update, I guarantee you. They're messing around with concepts.
This would have been like Skyrim getting a new DLC in 2021.
Right.
In terms of timeline.
Been about a decade.
Actually, I'm sorry. 2020, because it's been a decade and 1 year.
Oh, so that would have been
2022 for Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because this game is from 2015 and it's 2026.
Yeah. That's wild. I'm not a real big fan of Witcher. I kept trying to play it, but the man won't stop spinning.
I don't like I'm glad for these people.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
If you can play the game, it looks like a really compelling game. I just don't like the mechanics.
The story is very interesting.
Yes,
the world is very interesting.
And that spinning is in character.
I just physically don't like playing.
Yeah. Something we will be enjoying is a trailer dropped for X-Men 97 Season 2.
Now, have you watched this?
I did watch this.
Oh, baby. We're back. So, the first season of X-Men 97 did a thing that was great. It took like 9 different story arcs from different eras of X-Men comics, chopped them up, and made a new thing out of it.
I'm listening to an X-Men podcast where they're going through... I don't mind name dropping them on here. It's a Mutant Menace podcast, available most places podcasts are. Unlike us, we're only on YouTube. And they just covered, like within the last couple months, the Forge Storm storyline that was in season 1.
Yeah, and the second season looks like it's going to be doing a bunch of similar stuff, vis-a-vis integrating a whole bunch of shit that happened over 40 years of comics related to Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is lame Darkseid.
Yeah, he is.
So is Thanos, for that matter. But I say this as a Marvel head. I don't like DC.
Darkseid's just the OG. He has the most aura.
Cooler.
He's cooler. He's more of a badass, and he'll sit on your couch, brother.
He will sit on that couch. But that's not even the important thing in this trailer.
No.
That's like the least important thing in this trailer.
Go ahead and tell them what the most important thing is.
The most important thing in this trailer is Brown Suit Wolverine, and I will not be hearing any rebuttals to that.
I'm interested to see what's happening with Wolverine, because he got de-adamantiumed at the end of season 1. He
puts on the brown suit.
But he also gets the adamantium back, and I'm interested to see how that happens.
Brown suit.
It just
this
man has been molding about Wolverine's more
I'm here suit correct.
About Wolverine's most popular color scheme being not his technically preferred one since I have known him.
One of them
literally
is better.
This may have been in one of the first 10 conversations we had.
I decked you in the face. We talked about Hip Hop Harry, and then I was like, by the way, Brown Wolverine is best Wolverine. And you said, yes, you are correct. At least that's as far as I remember it.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That you remember it that way.
Not positive news, but I'm glad I bought a Switch 2 news. Valve almost doubled the prices of the Steam Decks.
I mean, look, as blame AI.
Yeah.
It's the data centers, brother. They're eating all the RAM that exists in the world.
Yeah.
The torture vortex from the novel. Don't create the torture vortex.
I was planning on originally buying a Steam Deck with the money I had, but then I heard about the announcement that the Switch 2 was going up, and I'm like, well, I'd been saving for it. The specific money I'd set aside to get a handheld gaming console. I'm like, well, then I'm going to go ahead and get the Switch 2. Because I don't know how reliably I'm going to play any of my Steam games, because a lot of them are keyboard and mouse games.
Yeah.
On the Steam Deck. And then, like a week and a half, to 3 weeks later, this news was released. And, welp, I guess I won't be getting one of those.
It's like $1,000 now or something?
Yeah, the 12 gigabyte OLED model went from $549 to $789, and the 1 terabyte went from $649 to $949.
Oh boy.
It's probably still worth it. It's just outside of my budget.
you could have a good gaming PC for that price. Well,
Yeah.
actually, not anymore. Before this stupid bullshit happened.
Not too much more than that price, you could have a good gaming PC. And, but, portability is important for some people, and some people don't want their PC to do anything but games, so it is what it is.
Yep.
We're getting a new adventure in Nightmare Before Christmas. It's getting a sequel. After 31 years.
To use the metric that we established before, that is not because Americans won't use anything but the metric system. This would be like Skyrim getting a DLC in 2042.
Well, that it's more like Skyrim getting a sequel then, and that sounds about right.
Actually it does.
I used to love Nightmare Before Christmas, and there's still some fondness I have for its symbology.
Dude, it has an amazing aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic is killer, and the animation, the stop motion stuff is gorgeous.
Some of the songs still hit. Oogie Boogie's song is still good.
Oh, sure. It's probably the best song in there, but I watched a couple of Brental Floss videos where he's like, I don't mean to break your bubble here, but a lot of the songwriting in this is not great. And then I rewatched it with my girlfriend, and we're both going, this is not a very good movie.
No, Dude, it was never a good movie.
Well, no,
it's
clearly.
About the vibes.
Yeah, it's about the vibe. Look,
the
like
vibes.
you said earlier, hype moments and
Do y'all
and
got
aura
any
farming.
good writing?
Yeah.
No, we got hype moments in Aura.
I guess.
Dude, Jack Skellington does have aura.
No, yeah, he does. He's a cool looking character. Oogie Boogie's dripping with aura and bugs, and what more could you want? Crash Bandicoot is getting a film. It's going into production. Crash doesn't talk, so I think that's interesting.
What? You know what I asked? I was going to ask a really stupid question. I was going to say, who is this for? I know who it's for. My people.
Yeah, legions of people about your age and slightly younger who are
I
huge
played some Crash
Bandicoot
Bandicoot. I
fans.
believe I beat several Crash Bandicoot games. But I'm not this guy.
No. You were just a little too old, I think.
I think I beat at least 2 of them, but
Sure.
they were just video games. They didn't attach to them.
I tried them, and I don't care for them. That's the beginning and end of that, but it is noteworthy. I hope they're good. I might see it if it doesn't look like crap. You know what I mean?
I mean, shit, it's something to podcast about.
Short wrestling report this week. We really only have 2 news stories. One is that Big Damo and Nikki Cross, / Nikki Storm as she's now known.
Or Killian Dane.
Yes, for Big Damo. They're a couple. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Great job, both of you.
Yeah, really good pairing. They bought Progress, or have taken ownership of Progress. I don't know financially, specifically what happened. That gives me hope. I've been a fan of Big Damo for 12 years now.
I believe I have referred to him as largest possible Damo from What Culture Pro Wrestling the entire time, and I will continue.
AEW's also got a new July pay-per-view called Redemption. It has a lovely pearlescent poster, and it's going to be in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So that's kind of exciting. Nothing to really report on that. We haven't watched wrestling this week.
They're gonna insert some stuff. They'll do some matches. I'm sure it'll be fine. I hope they sell out. I want good things for AEW.
I do too. When I come back, I want to see it in better shape than it was when I left it. And hopefully with half as many bald guys doing dumb shit.
I'm terribly sorry. The rate of bald men with beards doing dumb shit will only go up.
Well, damn. And finally, we come to mail fraud. And to keep it mail fraud, we do have to do a stolen question. Let's start with that. Let's start with one from AEW Games Podcast, which I do miss listening to, but they're in a holding pattern right now, according to Evil Uno. Thank you for finally updating us, Evil Uno. Gosh. Lots of good questions here. What game remake, Craig asks. I'm going to assume Craig T. Nelson. Let me do it in my Craig T. Nelson impersonation. Hello, it's me, Craig T. Nelson. What game remake do you... I could do one. I'm not going to now because it's going to come out sounding like Foghorn Leghorn or some shit. That's a reference to Whose Line Is It Anyway? When Colin Mockery is making a joke about being Craig T. Nelson and he says, hello, I'm Craig T. Nelson.
We're really old.
We are. You don't even know who Craig T. Nelson is. You're like zippity flip flap. That's what your slang is.
This is falling apart instantly. Now ask the question.
Ask the question. Craig asks, what game remakes do you guys feel surpassed the original? Ah, gosh. That's Craig T. Nelson.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I can't think of any really... I guess Oblivion.
Oh, yeah. I still don't like it.
That one's pretty...
I think the Pixel remasters are the best expression of the original 6 Final Fantasies. Without doing what happened between 7 and the 7 remakes, which are completely different.
That's a whole different game.
Yeah, it's still about Final Fantasy 7, but even the plot is different.
I would call that an adaptation.
Sure. But, like, Pixel remasters are just updates, and they are the best updates they've got. There are still things I wish were there. I don't know why they didn't include the Game Boy Advance content. But they used touched-up versions of the script that remove a lot of the problems I had with the original games. Final Fantasy II is playable, even if it's not good. Yeah, what more could you ask for? Anything else come to mind?
Not really. There's not been a lot of remakes for games that have been really iconic.
Yeah, a lot of people want to talk about the Resident Evil remakes, the Silent Hill remakes, but those aren't really games we play, and I think Resident Evil's fucking stupid.
Get dunked on.
I could get into this deeper. I'm not gonna. This is already a long show. I don't want to shoot a zombie in the head 19 times before it decides to die. Just kidding. It's grabbed my leg.
They are very spongy.
That damaged sponges are not my favorite gameplay mechanic, and that seems to be, at the very least, what the remakes are.
Ugh, that's not great. That's not what you want.
It's not what I want.
I think a damaged sponge can be useful, but not as a major... That's a boss thing.
Yeah, I'm way more willing to accept it there. In contrast, I have played the entirety of Resident Evil 3, the original one. And the fact that Nemesis just wouldn't fucking die was really thrilling as a kid. But when I run into, the gas station zombie at the beginning of the game and he won't fucking die...
It makes Nemesis feel less special.
Am I going to be fighting Nemesis for half an hour?
Possibly.
I don't want to do that. You know what? Let's go to the anonymous source you stole from because you don't want to be tracked down by the intellectual property police and arrested. Here's one that's fun for me. What show do you think is overrated? All of them.
He doesn't like anything.
Not YuYu Hakusho.
That's right. Underrated, if anything. There's the instinct to say something different than the thing I've said a million fucking times on this show by now. But Breaking Bad, I watched a couple seasons of it. It was fine. It got sad. I got sad continuing to watch this asshole win at things, so I stopped. It wasn't life-changing, guys. It was just a mean man getting away with things. That's actually that's the standard operating procedure for real life. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
To dig into stuff that I probably haven't talked about before, Mad Men. I watched the first season of that and was really underwhelmed. I like to joke about how it's an episode of The Simpsons, but that's not even the worst of it. It's just that it was so stupid. It's just a mean, bad husband who's lying about who he is, and he makes snazzy ads and smokes a lot of cigarettes. Who cares?
Somebody, man.
A lot of people really liked it.
It's very popular shows. A lot of what you might call prestige drama. Look, you can see the podcast. You can see what kind of movies we like. We're trash. This is the trash pile. Don't come here for opinions on highly regarded prestige television and expect us to agree with you. Most prestige dramas are ass.
Well, okay, and I'm going to put this in a way that I feel is accurate, and it's going to sound punchy, but please understand, I mean this genuinely. I am not a masochist in the sexual sense. At least not much. I don't want to dress up in a rubber suit and be whipped. I don't like that. I wouldn't like that. If I were engaging in Congress with someone and they did that to me, we would be done with the Congress and I would be upset.
Reasonable.
But for a lot of people, that's the best thing ever. So when a TV show I'm watching engages in emotional CBT, I'm out. but a lot of people really love it.
So as I understand it, this is I have looked this up because it has been so confusing to me. For a lot of these people, they enjoy watching someone really awful succeed at things because it lets them feel like their life isn't as bad because they're not as awful as this person.
Sure, and there's a lot of other reasons, and I've looked into it as well, because I like to understand things. You know, even if they don't succeed, just watching all that drama happen, a show like Shameless, for example, whichever island's version you want, the America Island or the UK, we are technically an island, just a fuck-off big one.
In the same way that Earth is an island.
But no man is an island.
No.
Except for Island Joe. And that weird thing sticking out of the ground.
That we don't talk about.
That we don't talk about. You know, seeing a show like Shameless where all these people are awful, whether they succeed or not, they can kind of go, my life is not that bad. You know, I've got these problems.
I've at least got my shit more together than Fiona.
Yeah, and these stories are based on the lives of real people, not directly, but like, this shit happens.
I'll give you a fun fact about life. If you have anyone in your life who reminds you of a character from Shameless, cut them. Broom them. Your life will become better after.
I heard something about The Bear recently because I've never watched it. I just know it reignited the insipid Yes Chef nonsense in the public zeitgeist. But a lot of it is about family drama. And it's done so well that I know some of the viewers have said it's awkward to watch because it is portrayed like a family having an argument. And I don't want to watch that. I don't care how snappy the dialogue is or how big the emotions hit.
I've had plenty of that, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I don't want to be in these nasty situations. And maybe it's a similar thing as riding a roller coaster. I don't really care for thrill rides. The little dip at Pirates of the Caribbean is enough of a thrill ride for me, thank you.
I get thrill rides more because it's adrenaline and you're honestly safe as houses. The likelihood something bad's gonna happen to you on a roller coaster is nil.
Exactly, and it's the same thing with the TV show. Everything's scary, but I'm actually okay. I just don't want to have those experiences.
For me, and this is loops back to the Breaking Bad thing I've mentioned so many times on this podcast. For me, the problem is like Walter White's a shitty hang. I don't feel like, oh man, how's Walt gonna get out of this one? I feel like, when is this fucker gonna get what's his?
Well, and this goes back to wrestling, right? We like to talk about X-Pac heat, but that's faded because Shawn is getting his flowers at this part of his life.
Go away heat is generally what it's called.
Go away heat is what it's called these days. And I go almost immediately to go away heat. I don't want to see a guy I really hate get beat up. I'm not watching the WWE to see Logan Paul get his face smeared across the canvas. I don't want to watch him. I don't want to be near him. I don't have to watch all baby faces, but I like the portrayal, the performance. I like villains who are compelling and have swagger and are kind of right. You know, even though they're taking it too far.
You know, a great method of villain construction that's been criticized in recent years for various reasons is the villain who is correct, just objectively right, but then murders an orphan about it, and we have to boo them now.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, that's still pretty good. That's like, you know, that's a good kind of villain.
Yeah, so, I mean, I could talk for days about shows I've seen that I really didn't care for, but I think we've answered the question. Thank you, anonymous contributor. And thank you to our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio and Rob. Drake Starstorm, Kitty Holbrook, DG, Destrucity KTL, and Passion Killer 711. Any thoughts to close us out on, my dear companion?
I'm so glad he finally watched YuYu Hakusho, you guys.